I know what you're thinking. School just shouldn't be this much fun. Well, it is. And we're going to start this little unit to understand theme. It's the one thing that I notice that students have the most trouble wrapping their heads around. So we're going to have a creative unit where you are going to be allowed to use AI. I know, what? And you're going to create 2 images. And you can do that by hand. You can do that by drawing the image yourself, perhaps on a background of watercolor or an oil paint, or you can take a picture, or you can create this image using AI, which I think is probably the best bet. The idea is to understand theme. I read so many papers and I look at these study guides that are on Spark Notes or even created by ChatGPT, and they'll say the themes include politics, religion, family. That is a thematic structure. That is not a theme. It's like there's this big umbrella that's called family. But under that umbrella are real people with real issues and who are there to learn real lessons. That may be in narrative, stories and novels and movies, or it can be in rhetorical essays that are research position papers. Everything that is written and produced has a thematic structure. Whether everything stays honest to the theme is interesting. So I'm going to pause here just a moment, let that sink in while I tell you this. I've been writing a stage play. I write a lot of plays and novels and things like that. But this stage play that I just finished writing had the theme is don't judge a book by its cover. So that means that everything that happens in this play needs to serve that theme. Well, I had this one scene. Oh, you all, it is the cutest, funniest, most adorable little scene, but it has nothing whatsoever to do with the theme. Nothing. And I had to take it out. It just broke my heart. Now, I go to movies sometimes, and I see a movie, and I think, that has nothing to do, they put some scene in there that has nothing to do with anything. And it's sort of like the director or the producer or somebody had this memory from childhood and they wanted to put that on the big screen, and so they tacked it in to this film, even though it has nothing to do with the theme. And the theme is not the plot. It's different. The plot is what happens. The theme is what is learned from what happens. Now, in narrative, that's pretty easy to follow. Oliver Twist starts out as a very poor orphan child, and he goes through a series of adventures and meets a number of people, and in the end discovers that he was actually from royalty all along, and he therefore comes into a great, vast fortune. And what is the theme of that? Every good boy deserves favor. We look at a rhetorical essay, and I am looking at the essay that I wrote, and I'll put that here in case you want to ever just glance at it. I wrote an essay about Woodstock. My question was, how in the world did that happen? I'm talking about the first Woodstock, 1969. How in the world did 4 million people get involved in a festival where there was no way to get information to people other than the radio and little newspaper handouts and flyers? There was no internet, there was no computers, there was no phone, the cell phone or anything like that. How did 4 million people get involved in that, and how did it happen peacefully without a single fight? And so what's the theme of that? Miracles happen. And everything has to serve that theme, even though it's factual, it's all based on fact, and it's based on theory, and it's based on all these different components, all of which have to serve that theme. The overriding themes would be, oh my gosh, celebration, extended family, generations, protests, politics, all kinds of things. But the overriding central theme of that essay is miracles happen. So what I've done is I want to look real quickly at the broad themes that I've just been talking about. Let's look those over real quick. I've made a list of some broad themes, and I bet you could think of some others. And if you do, email me and I'll add them to the list. But you see, good versus evil. Isn't that one of the main themes of research essays that you create and find? Let's say that for the endangered species essay, let's say that you pick a species of animals that have been just slaughtered, but you're going to find a way to save them, and you're going to get people involved and excited about saving them. That's good versus evil. And then there's love, of course, redemption. These other are broad umbrellas under which we have real people, real creatures, the earth, planets, whatever we have underneath that big umbrella. And we're going to focus in on one of those things, since we can't write about everything. So a proverb is a wise saying. It's something that's passed down through generations. It's widely accepted as some words of wisdom. I don't want to complicate it any more than that. I just want us to understand that when we look at anything, whether it's a piece of literature, whether it's a movie, whether it's a stage play, or whether it's a narrative, a rhetorical essay, such as you're going to do with Dinner Party, you're going to be doing that with, the classes do all kinds of different essays. Hero archetype essays, whatever essays you'll be doing for the course, the thematic structure is critically important to understand. We have the broad context of those big categories I just showed you, and we have narrow focused themes, which all boil down to one little word of wisdom, one proverb. So look at the assignment next, and I'll be back and show you how to do that. It's a lot of fun. I know. It's exciting. It's an important concept for you to understand. It is critical thinking at its best, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing it.